Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sarah Compton here with the marketing team at Insight Software, and I'm going to be your moderator for today. I'd love to introduce our presenters today. We have Maeghan Carriere, Divisional Vice President with us, and Sue Maloney, Principal Solutions Engineer. So I will let them both introduce themselves really quickly.
Yeah, of course. By way of introduction, my name's Maeghan Carriere. I lead North American and EMEA new logo sales for Spreadsheet Server in our growth ERP and BI business unit. I've been with the company since 2019. Slight asterisk, I joined via acquisition in 2022. And my entire career has been focused on helping companies connect to, analyze, and visualize data, whether that's embedded analytics for customers or ERP reporting in Excel. So today I lead a team of 7 account executives with the goal of achieving net new revenue targets for Insight Software.
So happy to be here with all of you. I'm a principal solutions engineer here at Insight Software, which means I simply demonstrate our products, and I get to do webinars like this and trade shows and all of those fun things, getting to share the message of how our solutions can help. I've spent about 30 years in accounting and finance, as well as reporting. Working as an auditor and a controller before I moved into the reporting space, coming here to Insight Software about 11 years ago. So let's get into our topic today. Before we get too far into it, I just want to tell you a little bit about who our company is so that you're aware. We are an international company and serve somewhere around 34 to 35,000 customers. Our focus is on providing connected solutions to the office of the CFO. So we do that through our platform so that our customers can increase their productivity through automation and access to actionable insights.
Great. Thank you, Sue and Maeghan. We're going to start out with some questions for you, Maeghan. What are finance team leaders telling you about the current business climate?
I'm hearing 3 main themes right now. I'm hearing scaling pressures, the need for speed and decision making, and resource constraints. So with scaling pressures, whether it's PE groups managing multiple portfolio companies, real estate firms tracking hundreds of properties, or manufacturers expanding product lines, everyone's trying to scale rapidly, but manual processes and reporting are really limiting their growth. The urgent need for speed and decision making, with all the supply chain disruptions, cost pressures, and market volatility, finance leaders cannot wait days or weeks for analysis anymore. One controller told me they need to move from days to hours for critical insights. And then, of course, everyone is dealing with resource constraints, but it hits different industries in different ways. So construction and engineering firms are juggling dozens of projects with tight margins where one missed budget variance can wipe out their profits. And real estate companies are tracking hundreds of properties, but they can't afford dedicated analysts for each market. Manufacturing companies need to analyze profitability across multiple product lines and facilities, but their finance teams are already maxed out. All these pressures are hitting teams that are currently spending 60 to 70% of their time just manually gathering data rather than analyzing it. I keep hearing we're completely overloaded, or even more recently, I'm the bottleneck. If I'm not here, leadership gets nothing. And finance teams want to keep working in Excel because that's where they can be productive, but they need real-time data flowing in automatically so they can focus on scaling and speed of strategic decision-making rather than just being data processors.
Great. Our next question is, how can mid-market companies use Spreadsheet Server as a first step toward digital transformation?
I think a lot of organizations see digital transformation as this massive undertaking, and they often spin their wheels or try to do too much at once when the best approach is to pause, identify areas where technology can deliver efficiencies, prioritize what is causing the most stress on the business, and then tackle logically with dedicated evangelists on their side. Spreadsheet servers, it can be a great example of a level 1 solution because it meets finance teams exactly where they are, which is in Excel. And that's where finance and accounting teams are most comfortable and productive, which is lending to faster time to value. And then because of this shortened learning curve, teams can capture wins much more quickly, which also speeds up adoption, which we all know is super important for any digital transformation. For example, cutting their monthly close to just days instead of weeks and redirecting efforts to strategic and more interesting work. One controller told me that once they stopped spending 40 hours a month on manual consolidation, they could finally focus on the strategic work that they were hired to do. So building forecasting models, analyzing customer profitability, providing insights that actually drive business decisions. So the key is that it doesn't disrupt the current process while giving them a taste of what real-time data can do. Then they naturally start asking, what else can we automate? How can we get more strategic insights? And that's when they're ready for that next level.
Okay, thanks, Megan. And last question, how do finance teams balance automating reporting while developing skills for AI?
AI is level 2, but it's an essential level 2 that every working professional is going to have to become very, very good at leveraging and recognizing. And companies are going to have to upskill their teams in AI to remain competitive. I know that accounting and finance professionals, they value their time, they value where they choose to hone their skills. They're also required to invest in continuing education for certifications. So continuous learning is already part of their professional DNA. Currently, there's huge opportunity cost in the time spent manually building and delivering reporting packages that could be better allocated to sharpening Excel skills, learning more complex technologies, and testing out AI in an environment where they will easily spot mistakes. As I mentioned before, if anyone knows their GL data, it's a controller. So this is exactly what Spreadsheet Server can do. I had one finance manager at a construction company who went from struggling with basic ERP reports to mastering custom report design and advanced Excel formulas. She said, every year we find new ways to use Spreadsheet Server to do our job better. Every year we learn more just from creating new reports and digging in. So what started as automating basic financial statements turned into her developing sophisticated analytical skills that she's now teaching her team. Spreadsheet Server really frees up time by automating manual reporting while simultaneously developing Excel skills. And this results in building that analytical confidence and creating the capacity for essential learning. And once you understand how data flows and connects in real time, you're much better positioned to leverage and implement AI tools because you can immediately tell if the results make sense. Specifically to the CEOs, CTOs, CIOs, decision makers, I would emphasize to stop fighting Excel and make it more powerful instead. Excel has been around and it will continue to be around, and it will be the preferred tool for finance and accounting. So if you want your digital transformation strategy to be a success, understand what end users like and lean into that rather than forcing them into a complicated BI project where they might ultimately request an export to Excel button on the flashy dashboard you built. Because, when you make Excel more powerful, instead, you reduce reliance on the IT team because finance becomes self-sufficient and IT tickets for custom reports are significantly reduced.
We are now going to transition over to Sue, and she's going to walk you through our product Spreadsheet Server.
Thanks so much.